of our fraternity, in terms of ministers of states, ministers of IT, ministers of telecom, Secretary Telecom, Dr. Neeraj Mittalji, Gulzarji, Robert Raviji, members of my ministry, and IT and telecom secretaries across the states, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just start by welcoming you to India Mobile Congress 2025 under the theme Innovate to Transform. India Mobile Congress today no longer remains India-centric. India Mobile Congress today no longer remains mobile-centric. Today, India has risen like a phoenix in the space of telecom, digital inclusion, telecom equipment manufacturing on the world stage. And which is why you see, as part of the Mobile Congress, over 150,000 footfalls, delegates from across 150 countries, close to about 1,000 exhibitors, 1,600 use cases. And the Mobile Congress is really turning into a melting pot, if you will, for innovation, for new ideas, for new thinking, for paradigm shifts. So it gives me great pleasure and a privilege to welcome all of you here as co-partners, traveling down this digital highway, transforming ourselves from regulators to facilitators, to be able to ensure that we provide the much required connectivity, the much required inclusion, the much required equity to every single person across the length and breadth of our country. The Prime Minister has very clearly articulated that India's mobile journey today has become a case study for the whole world. In the last 11 years, the transformation that our sector has gone through, 1.2 billion customers, 20% of the world's mobile connections today reside in India. Internet connectivity grown from 250 million to 970 million. Broadband connectivity greater than 1 GB from 65 million to close to 944 million. So if you were to think that the world were to be categorized as digital nations, India would be the third largest digital nation. Today, our digital economy has a share of national income of close to about 14%. By 2930, the digital economy will be close to 20% of our GDP. What does that mean? That means that India is undergoing a transformation. Your states are undergoing a transformation. Where the share of digital economy in each one of your individual states, because we are at all, if anything at all, an amalgam of all your entities. And therefore the digital economy in each of your states will have a greater share in agriculture, a greater share in manufacturing. And that's the opportunity that we need to be able to rise to. Today we have a data advantage for AI development, which no other country in the world has. Our data costs are 5% of the world's average. We should be setting up GCCs in our states, data centers in our states. But while we have all these opportunities, we also have challenges. Gender inclusion is one of them. Today, only 26% of our women population are connected onto WhatsApp. This new AI revolution, digital revolution, will create many jobs, but it will also require reskilling of many of our young people. There's a study that's been done which says that by 2035, AI and the digital highway will create 65 million jobs. But it will also entail the reskilling of 45 million jobs. And that's both a challenge and an opportunity that we need to be sensitized to as states and as a central government. Today, the National Broadband Mission has achieved tremendous milestones. As I mentioned, from 65 crores, we have now reached connectivity of close to 94 crores in the last 10 years. If you look at the mobile wireless data consumption, we are today at close to 24 GB per month. Now compare that to the United States of America. The United States of America is at 15 GB per month. So we are almost 70% higher than the US of A. If you look at our mobile broadband download speed, we have increased it from 10.7 Mbps in 2019, 6 years ago, to almost 131.77 Mbps, which means a multiple of close to 13 times in 6 years. And the same for fixed broadband download speed, which has increased from 29 Mbps in 2019 to almost 60 Mbps today. So almost doubling on that count. OFC fiber today we have close to about 42 lakh route kilometers. Our mobile towers are almost about 8 lakh. And along with this NBM, the National Broadband Mission, we're also laying out the largest public CapEx program in the world to connect every single village of India by broadband. 1,39,000 crores, $17 billion. That will increase connectivity to 3,80,000 gram panchayats and then provide, 2,56,000 gram panchayats and provide on-demand connectivity to the balance 3.8 lakh villages. These are programs that have never been conceived of before by any country in the world. And in order to be able to execute those most efficaciously, our role has to move from being a regulator to being a facilitator. And so has it to change with all of our partners, all our states. And therefore we brought in place the right-of-way bottlenecks resolution process. Our portals today assist all state governments. Initially 11 states and UTs came on board. Now it covers 20. And because of this one step, 20% of ROW applications are cleared within a period of 15 days. Our central right-of-way rules 2024 are being implemented across all states and UTs. And I'm pleased to say that out of 36 states and UTs, 31 states and UTs have already implemented that as part of their rules. I'd like to thank every state representative here at this present. And whilst I do that, I would like to urge the remaining 5 states and union territories too to kindly hasten the speed and adopt the central ROW rules. The remaining states of Karnataka, UT of Lakshadweep, states of Nagaland, Tamil Nadu, and West Bengal. We've also put in place the CEUD program software called COISAFE to be able to coordinate with all public utilities to make sure that we do not damage underground utility assets and work together so as to make sure that we provide in the shortest period of time the best quality of service for our customers. We're also leveraging the optical ground wire program. The power sector can enhance broadband connectivity and strengthen network resilience in hilly and remote regions. And applying the government as a whole approach, directions were issued by MOP, Ministry of Power, in November 24 to include provisions in future transmission schemes for deploying at least 48 OPGW instead of the current 24 N. I also request all states to work with their respective power ministries to ensure one single consolidated bill for discount to all the telecom operators as opposed to disaggregated bills. We have a number of great examples that we can all share and learn from. And I'd like to elucidate a few. These are all case studies that can apply to the rest of our partners. And I think we should all learn from them. Let me start with the state of Telangana. The T-fiber rural and urban fiber grid can be studied as a template for household fiber connectivity and demand aggregation. I'd like to propose a national state adoption scheme where successful cost models and last mile operations and maintenance program learnings are documented and shared. And let me invite the state of Telangana to pilot an interoperable deep packet inspection services over T-fiber to be able to take this as a best practice to other states. The state of Chhattisgarh, I believe Prakash Chaudhary is here, has a wonderful CHIPS program. Chhattisgarh Input Tech Promotion Society, the state agency for SWAN and SDCs. And if you can take this Chaudhary and scale this e-district SWAN shared services model, that would benefit our neighboring states as well. The state of Sikkim has come up with a wonderful NIC Sikkim Data Center, which is a model for resilience in difficult terrain. And let me propose mountain remote states to learn from this resilient nodes consortium to share DR, edge and compute practices. The state of Karnataka also has something that is called Beyond Bangalore framework, which talks about nurturing GDCs and semiconductor PCB clusters in tier 2 cities to replicate it across the states. I'd like to urge the state of Karnataka to share this best practice. Fifth is the state of Punjab. The Punjab pilot linking TSP 5G edge nodes, which it has used for agri-tech, Internet of Things and value chain connectivity, with agri-sensor networks for soil and for water, and to put together a digital marketplace which measures farm yield and price realizations, would be very useful for the other agrarian states to model as well. Number 6, state of Odisha, represented by Mukesh Mahalingam Limji is here. Mukesh is here. Your state EPI for citizen-centric services and disaster resilience. Can I invite you to lead a cross-state blueprint and disaster resilient EPI for cyclone forecasting, mobile alerts, post-disaster benefit transfers, to be able to look at exploring this with other states in coastal areas. Number 7, the state of Tamil Nadu, represented today by Dr. Tyagarajan. Dr. Tyagarajan. If I can request you to showcase your digital services roadmap for manufacturing clusters, the digital twin, shop floor connectivity and skilling integration, really put together a manufacturing digitization knowledge sharing exchange among all our 36 states as a case study that we can cross-fertilize with other states. And finally, the state of Goa. Pachali is here. Your idea of tourism digitization and green connectivity, a pilot for smart tourism corridors, leveraging high-quality public Wi-Fi, AR/VR experiences and e-payments to increase tourist spends and trace carbon footprints. Can we invite Goa to put together a test bed also for green telecom pilots, where solar towers, green DCs, data centers and energy efficient last mile solutions can be propagated to other states? So we have an example of 8 states where we have a lot to learn from our partners, from our peers. And I would very firmly recommend that we organize this sort of a state IT Telecom Ministers Conference so that we can do this cross-fertilization amongst our partners to be able to learn from each other. Once again, let me welcome you all to IMC 2025 and wish you all the best and commit to you the Government of India, the Ministry of Communications, is
for underlining the collective vision of a truly connected and empowered digital India. We will now hear brief remarks from our Honorable State IT Ministers, who will share key updates, priorities and perspectives from their respective states. To ensure everyone gets an equal opportunity, may I gently request that remarks to be kept around 2.5 minutes each. To all the speakers are requested to keep their interventions brief to ensure everyone gets an opportunity. Now I would request Honorable IT Minister Shri Keshav Mohan to address the audience.
Pachali and other chief officials, my colleagues, honorable Minister States and Union Territories, and the secretary senior officials of the various states, universities, leaders, and partners. To begin with, I just want to report something from a decade ago. After taking over the charge in 2014, Prime Minister Narendra Modi dream of making India a digital powerhouse in the world. And today, the Prime Minister's team has come through within a decade. In the 2014 internet presence